Right. Good morning, everybody. It is day 7 of our Global Healing Summit, and I am so excited about everything that is happening in our amazing world and in this great awakening we are experiencing on the planet right now. I cannot stop smiling. And I have amazing news. So, again, you are joining us live for the One Heart, One Earth Global Healing Summit. And it is Friday. It's the 7th day of this healing summit. And I sent out an announcement this morning. We have amazing, exciting, incredible news. And that is that we are extending this summit one more week through Easter Sunday, which is really exciting. And we have such a profound lineup of people, and it really starts right now. And we are going to have nothing but sound healings and yoga and motivation and inspiration and creativity and just the most amazing spiritual healers. I cannot stop from there's so many healers coming to participate in this summit. I'm just beyond humbled and honored and blessed and happy and joyful. And so here we are. And so I'm totally rocking the 80s today. And I was born in 1978, and I'm totally wearing this shirt with my birth year on it. But the thing is, this lightning bolt, this indigo pink lightning bolt, is like everything I'm feeling about this great ascension, this awakening on the planet Earth. We have reached critical mass. We are pushing the light out for everyone to see. And I'm so happy to start this Friday with my dearest soul sister, colleague, client, friend, sister, teacher, Aisha. I love you.
Hey.
Hey.
So welcome everybody. Oh my gosh, I am so super excited to be here to take part in this fabulous summit, which Lisa has just told me is Operation Rainbow Sparkle Explosion. Isn't that just amazing? I love it. But as Lisa shared, Lisa is my soul sister. We met about 11 years ago, and just like her, my birth year is 1978. So definitely going to be rocking one of those t-shirts. And I'm just so super excited to be here. So today, what I am going to be covering is we're going to get into cleaning out your crap and really getting down to the essence of who you are and what are you full of. And before I get started, I'll give a quick overview and an introduction of who I am. So my name is Aisha Lloyd-Minnis. I kind of gave it away a little bit. My birth year is 1978. I actually have a birthday coming up next week, Saturday. So I'm about to be 42 years old. And just super excited about my own life and my personal journey, and one of coming from a place of just feeling like I was stuck in the world, having to live for other people, to one where I am now just so in touch with who I am, who I was created to be, and what I am called to do on this earth. And trust me, it's a process that is still evolving, but I am definitely full force in the evolution, and I am just living a completely fabulous life. My name is Aisha Lloyd-Minnis, but I write and I speak under the name Aisha Wonderfull. Wonderfull, F-U-L-L, because I know that I am full of wonder. I know that I am full of love. I know that I am full of joy, and I choose to share that with the world and to put that out there in the world. And that is what I am called to do, to call everybody to also do that for themselves. So before we get into the session today, let's just take a couple of seconds and just kind of ground ourselves and get prepared for this time that we're going to spend together. So let's just take a few deep breaths in and out. Deep breath in. Hold it, release, Let's do another one. Deep breath in, hold it, release it. Let's do more of those. Deep breath in, hold it, and release. Doesn't that feel so amazing? You know, one of the first things that I learned when I started my journey of spirituality and self-analysis and self-awareness, actually working along with Lisa, important it is to actually take deep breaths, and how cleansing and how healing just something as simple as taking a deep breath can be. So now what I want us to do is just to say a really brief intro prayer. And with this, we are setting the intention of the work that we're about to do together. So, dear Lord, Holy Spirit, please come into this space. Please open up our minds. Please open up our hearts. Please open up our spirits and our souls to be filled with your love, to be filled with the wisdom and the openness that we need right now. Please show us what it is that you want to see. Please help us hear what it is that you want us to hear, so that we can make the most out of this time that we're spending together. So let's get into it. Today, I am going to be talking about clearing out the crap and finding out what are you full of. But before we really get into it, I just want to make one thing very, very perfectly clear. While we are really looking to find out what we're full of, I want to remind each and every one of you of who you are and what you were created to be. And that is the most magical, brilliant, wonderful, amazing soul. That is who you are, and that is what you are full of. But we have all lived lives, and through our journeys and our experiences over the course of years and decades, we have picked up different filters and different habits and different experiences. Let's just go to the chase and call it crap, that have really been layered on top of who we are, who we truly, truly are. And today we are going to clear out some of that so that we can let the true essence of who we are shine through. And I am an accountant by trade. Let me just say that I've practiced being a CPA and worked in the field of finance for over 20 years. So the way that my mind works and it processes information just through years of training is very, very analytically. And one of the things that I do when I approach my sexuality is to really kind of segment things into, okay, what's the process that I can use? How can I sort of develop like a framework or a step-by-step process that I can apply to making changes in my life? So the framework that I'm going to share with you today is a 3-step process that I have for cleaning out the crap so that you can let the real you shine through. Actually, it's 4 steps, but we'll get into that. So the first step is self-awareness, your self-analysis. And this is a critical step really in anything that you do. Before you can change anything, before you can accomplish a goal, you have to know where you are starting. So the first step, self-analysis. And this, and I want this to be really interactive right now, but let's really take a look at what are you feeling? Now, I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. And of course, those may be things that you may be experiencing maybe at a heightened level than what you normally do. But I really want you to stop and just take a couple of seconds and think about, what is your baseline state of being? If somebody were to ask you on any given day, at any point in your life, let's say over the past 6 to 12 months, how are you? How are you feeling? And you really had to honestly and truthfully answer that. What would your answer be? For me, I say I'm wonderful because that is how I truly feel. But there was a point in my life for many, many years when I would not be able to say that. And when I started the process of clearing the crap out of my life, and I had to really be self-aware and do the self-analysis, I realized that I always felt rushed. I always felt hurried. I always had this sense of franticness, this sense of urgency, this sense of hustle, hustle, let's get things done. I always felt a lack of time, a lack of resources. I was just always like a hamster on a wheel, spinning to get things done. Now that's just me, but I want you to just take a couple of seconds and say, how do I feel? What is one of the feelings that doesn't really feel so good, that I really feel on a consistent basis, that is a part of my baseline state of being? So just take a couple of minutes and think about what that can be. And you may want to come back to this exercise, at various points in times. And sometimes you can, write this stuff down and use a notebook or a journal, which I definitely recommend journaling. But also just getting into the process of doing the mental exercise is also very beneficial, because as you go through your life, you can apply these steps and this framework in real time, like in real life situations, so that while you're feeling crappy, you can know what to do in the moment without necessarily having to wait until later to pull out a journal or a notebook. So right now, you should already know what crap it is that you feel a lot of the times that, you're probably really ready to stop feeling. So now this is where we move on to step 2. And step 2 is to figure out, why do you feel this way? So step 1, you've identified, what is the crap? What is it? Like, let's put a name to it. Let's put a face to it. In step 2, now we need to sit down and spend some time with this. Why are you here? I am a true believer that every single thing that we feel is something that is there to teach us, something that is there for us to learn from. So before we just dismiss it and just throw it in the garbage, we really need to sit down and spend some time with it to honor it, because it's a part of us. And really, even the negative things that we experience is really all good, because it's a part of us and we're all good. We just may be having a negative experience. So before we release it and we discard it and we get rid of the crap and we clear it, let's spend some time with it and really examine it so that we can get from it the benefits that it's meant to have in our lives. So I'll use myself as an example again. When I go through my journey, and I realized that I always had this tension around me of just rush, rush, rush. I never have enough time. I mean, listen, I would literally wake up in the morning and get in the shower, even as brushing my teeth. I would be like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. That sense of urgency and that sense of always being behind the ball was so ingrained and embedded in me. And it really took me a lot of work, a lot of inner work, a lot of self-reflection to really get to the cause of that. And for me, after many, many, many years of thinking, where is this coming from? I realized that I was literally taking the world onto my shoulders. Listen, I am the oldest daughter of 5 girls. My parents' first child, and I have a ton of sisters, and I have always been like the little mother, like Miss Queen Bee, let me fix everything. And that sense of responsibility and that sense of accountability always had me wanting to be responsible for everybody else, to just take everything onto my shoulders. And the more that I got accomplished, the more I saw that there was to do. And you say, okay, well, that's pretty understandable, that's good, but what's the harm in that? The harm in that for me, that was translating to a feeling of always being behind the ball, is that I started to feel that my value to other people or my value to my family was in me being responsible for them. Are you guys getting that? So I felt, subconsciously that unless I was just this superwoman, super sister, super daughter, super mom, that I wouldn't be accepted without doing these things, or I wouldn't be loved for doing all of these things. And basically, that was a particular perspective of inadequacy within myself, or a part of self-love that I needed to show myself. So that's my example. For you, this will be a process, but I do encourage you to use this time right now. So you identified your crap in step 1. Now, number 2, why is that? Where is it coming from? And do it from a place of no judgment. We're not here to judge. We're not here to make ourselves feel bad about ourselves. We're just trying to understand, where is this coming from? And I can guarantee you, it is a form of inadequacy within yourself. Crap is always there to cover up inadequacy. And it will show up in some different form of a unique perspective that can show you a particular way that you need to love yourself and to know that you are complete and that you are whole and that you are enough. So another part of step 2 is, in terms of all of the big picture of sitting with these feelings of crap, is to really take like a hard look at it. So, you're gonna wrap your arms around it and say, okay, I don't like how you make me feel. I don't like when you show up, but all right, let's sit down, let's talk it out why you're here. But in addition to that, we still have to live. It took me years to get to the point to really figure out and to understand where this feeling of always rushing and always having to get stuff done and, juggling so many balls came from. But we don't want to wait for years to not feel like crap, right? So another part of step 2 is more practical in terms of what you can do right now in this moment to get immediate relief from these feelings. And that is to really see what triggers it. What triggers these feelings? You may feel sad at times. You may feel overwhelmed at times. Do what you can do to be aware of your external environment or just different scenarios or circumstances in your life that may trigger these feelings so that you can kind of work around those and be better prepared. For me, it was just as simple as, listen, you've already gotten up early. You don't need to rush right now. Or maybe planning more in advance, being a little bit more proactive, the thing I was doing, being more comfortable in saying no to things that I really didn't have the time or the energy or the focus to focus on. And let me be clear, that was saying no to myself, because I would always be like the one charging in like a knight on a white horse with these great and wonderful ideas. Oh, let me do this and let me help this person out. But before I would even volunteer to do certain things, I would have to tell myself, no, this is only gonna flare up the crap in your life. So let's kind of dial back and not do those. So that's step 2. Anybody can take a guess of what step 3 is? So just to recap, step 1 is what? Be aware. What is it? What? You say you feel like crap? Name it. Be able to articulate it. Step 2, sit down with it. Make friends with it. What is it trying to tell you? Where is it coming from? What of yourself do you need to love yourself through to really truly clear out this crap? But in the meantime, what are some practical steps that you can take today in this very moment to kind of manage it until you've been able to completely clear it out? What is step 3? For a lot of people, you may think that step 3 is where you replace the grief feelings with something else. But I am very intentional in saying you are not replacing anything. Step 3, let me tell you what step 3 is. In step 3, you are going to honor your truth. You don't have to replace anything. What you are doing is clearing away filters. You are clearing away feelings. You are clearing away emotions and bad habits and reactions that you have built up over years. You don't have to replace that with anything. What you are doing is choosing to let your true self shine through. And this is where the work that I do is so unique, because you are really tapping in to who you were already created to be. You are not choosing to be something else, or you're not picking something out of the air. You are exploring yourself from within, and you are recognizing and you are accepting who you already are. So let's use my example again. When I had to come to really face myself and who I am, who was I created to be? And, even that in itself, I will tell you, was a process, because, I grew up in a very structured religious background. Also was exposed to some alternative methods of spirituality, but still lived in a very small society where, structured religion was very much the norm. And one of the sayings that a lot of people would say, the thing that, oh, God isn't finished with me yet. God isn't finished with me yet. And for years, that was just sort of embedded in me that God isn't finished with me yet, until I realized, guess what? The day that I took my first in 1978, God was already finished with me. When I came into this world, when I entered this universe, it was as a perfect and whole and complete human being, a whole and perfect, complete soul in a physical body. And it's something that I have fully embraced. And trust me, when you really grab hold of that and you know the brilliance and the magnificence of who you already are, this isn't something that you have to do to become. You are already in. You just have to get rid of the crap that's on top of who you are. Step 3, honor your truth. Your truth. So whatever part of your brilliance that is on top of and not allowing that brilliance to just shine through, this is where it's time to literally rise, let the true you rise and shine. So when you are feeling, let's say, overwhelmed, you've already identified it in step 1. You're sitting with it, figuring it out, finding ways to mitigate feeling overwhelmed in step 2. Now, step 3 is, hold on, wait a minute. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I have all the resources in the world. I am love. I am light. I am infinite goodness. I am infinite time. I am infinite resources. How could I ever be rushed? So step 3 is honoring your truth, remembering who you are. Let the real you rise and shine. Now, I know that when I started, I did mention that there was 4 steps. And really the 4th step is a bit of the 4th step is to repeat steps 1 through 3. And, I say that kind of jokingly, but it's actually very serious. And, as I've described, this whole thing is a process. You didn't get to where you have crappy feelings or you have negative feelings overnight. That has been a process. It has built up over years and decades, and it will take years and decades to fully get through, if you ever can fully get through of it, because, hey, that's a part of this human experience that we're in. And I also do believe that it's not so much about the goal of achieving whatever it is that you may want to achieve, but the process of going through it, the actual journey that we're on, that makes life so interesting and makes life so so wonderful. So, a couple of things that I want to just mention as you go through this process, and I'll repeat the steps again. So to clear up your crap so that you can remember what you are full of, which is full of truth, full of beauty, full of love, full of joy, full of peace, full of amazing wonderfulness. That is what you are full of. And it's just time to clear out the crap so that you can get back to who you are and to what you were called to do in this world. Step 1, self-awareness, identify it. Step 2, sit down with it, make friends with it, let it teach you, let it be a teacher. You gotta kind of put that teacher under some rules, and you have to manage that teacher. Be like, all right, now is not the time for a lesson. I gotta kind of push you aside so that I can get through this day or get through this moment. And step 3 is to honor yourself. And that is truly a choice, that in the moments of feeling crappy, you can either choose to be led by those feelings of crap, or you can choose to honor your true self. So, like I said, a couple of things that I just want you to be mindful of as you go through this process. Sitting here and talking about this, and it seems so easy and it seems so just amazing. And okay, let's just go through these steps. And this is how you can never feel like crap again and just feel, your magical, beautiful self that you needed to be. Well, let me tell you, it will be hard to do anything that's different, because why? We are attached to the way that we feel. Even the areas we don't like, even the areas that we want to change, mentally, emotionally, we may want to change it, but there are still mentally and emotionally parts of us that are attached to those feelings. And I feel like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Who likes to feel rushed, or who likes to feel angry, or who likes to feel inadequate? But, let's be honest here. And I always will call a spade a spade. For most of us, while yes, we have major improvements that we want to make in our lives, and we have grander versions of ourselves that we are striving to become, I really don't think that any one of us can say that our lives are just complete. Let's be honest. We have all done amazing and wonderful things in our lives. And with feeling the crap that we felt, so I think an important aspect is to understand that some of the negative feelings or the crap that we've lived with has in some ways served us well, and they've helped us to become the people that we are today and to achieve the things that we have achieved, which is fabulous. And none of us are just complete write-offs or just complete losers. We're all brilliant in our own amazing ways, even with the crap that we carry around. So when you start to go through the process of changing, you have to really be aware that you may have some resistance to changing. And that resistance may come up in so many different forms, like, oh, well, this is just, it doesn't make sense, or I don't want to do it, or why do I want to rock the boat, or maybe it was bad before. And you're not saying that it's bad. You're just saying that you want to continue to filter out what has been layered on top of you that is filtering or, stopping the real and true, authentic you to shine through. So I think that it's very important to do that in a loving way that honors every part of you. And that's why step 2 is so important, because when you are ready to really release that filter and allow the true authentic you to shine through, you will feel a little bit more comfortable. Even though it will be uncomfortable, you'll feel a little more comfortable, if that makes sense, with doing so. And the second thing is that even though this journey is very personal to you, none of us live in a vacuum. We are all connected to one another. We are all designed and created to serve one another. So what does that mean? That means that when you start to change and evolve, it will be a process of adjustment for other people as well. So not only do you have to be aware of your own discomfort and your own wanting to hold on to just staying within your comfort zone. You have to be aware and prepared for however the people around you may react. It may be positive, it may be negative, but in either way, it will be an adjustment. And the one thing that has truly, I mean, it's been a game changer, transformational for me, is to find a support group. Listen to me. When I started my journey, Lisa was there to hold my hand through everything. I mean, the times when, excuse me, I would want to meditate, like I had this desire, but in my mind, I felt like it was crazy. I felt like no one like me, that kind of kooky stuff. I felt so self-conscious. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, do I just sit down? Do I stare into space? Do I look at a dot on the wall? Trust me, I'm sharing with you these behind the scenes experiences because the discomfort will manifest itself in so many different ways. But having someone to hold your hand step by step along the way is just, trust me, it makes all the difference in the world. So do what you can do. Sometimes to start small and just be a part of a virtual community, or start to read different books by different people that can start to expand your ways of thinking and just start to get you a little bit more comfortable with actually following the path that you feel yourself guiding you on. But it is so important to be a part of a support group, a network of like-minded people, of like-hearted people that can support you through that. And just before I wrap up, I just want to make another quick point about cleaning out the crap and remembering what you are full of. This is something that can be applied to any area of your life. Now, ideally, I would say to you, oh, just clean out the crap and, become a new person. But for some people, it doesn't work that way. Our lives are so complicated and so entangled with different just things that taking these steps, even as small as they may be, and thinking of applying it to our entire lives can really become very intimidating and overwhelming. Trust me, take it from me. I have been there. So what I recommend that you do, strongly recommend, let me reiterate, is that you find one area of your life to start with. Think of it like a test case or a pilot study. For me, I had to start? I had to literally start from getting ready in the mornings and not rushing and just letting my true authentic self. And as I got that down and I felt more comfortable with it, I was then able to start applying that to the other aspects and segments of my life. So start small. Have no limits, no time pressures to getting this thing right or to getting it done overnight. And you will find that bit by bit, as you start to clear some of that crap, bit by bit, it becomes easier and easier. And what you do is that authentic self, the truth that is within you, that has been buried for so long, start to feel more and more comfortable. It starts to feel more like home. It starts to feel more like you. Your truth now feels like you instead of that crap feeling like you, even though it doesn't feel good, but it feels like you because it's what you've been used to for so long. Start small. Start with the tiniest thing that you can think of. You know what? Today, I'm not going to feel like crap as I sit through traffic. I'm not going to feel impatient. I'm not, just find something, smallest thing. And as you conquer that, then you can keep up leveling the areas of your life that you allow that crap to just be cleared out. So I hope that you have enjoyed this session. It is always such a joy to me to be able to share the steps and the frameworks that I have taken in my own life. I mean, guys, trust me, this has been a process and, for many, many years. And, as I said, my books and my teachings and my workshops and my speaking engagements, I call myself Aisha Wonderfull. And that's my thing, like labeling myself a certain way so that I can sort of have like a landmark and like a signpost to remind me of who I am. And, I'll share something really funny with you guys. During my first few years of working with Lisa, I used to call myself Scary Mary. This is like terrified of every single thing. And I was like hiding behind that identity. I literally call myself Scary Mary. So that's just a little joke for you guys. But if you would like any other information about any of the work that I do, feel free to reach out to me on social media, on IG and Facebook under Aisha Wonderfull, and that's under Full. And I have a 6-week course of Recoloring Your Life, which actually follows my second book, Recolor Your Life, which is an instructional guide to designing a joyful, fulfilled life. But I actually have a 6-week course of how you can actually work through this process and create amazing change and transformation in your lives. And I also, this is the first time that I'm sharing this, but I have just finished my 3rd book, which is 2020 Vision, and it's about how to create a clear vision for your life and make it a reality. And this is going to be released next week, Saturday, on my birthday. So I'm super excited about that. And about the work that I do and helping other people, especially women, live the lives that they were created to live and to show up in those lives as the women that they were created to be. So once again, social media, Aisha Wonderfull, and this has been so amazing, so fantastic for me. And I hope that you have taken away something meaningful and practical that you can start to apply in your lives immediately. Because, hey, guess what? This is 2020. It's time for the crap to go. We are standing up and we are standing together. We are allowing our true and authentic selves to rise, because guess what? It is time to shine. The world needs us. Our communities need us. Our families need us. And guess what? We need us. So let's do this. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.